Hey, what's up, everybody? Fred Minnick here, and today I'm going to taste the first of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. Just received the media samples. I'm going to taste the Thomas H. Handy. This is coming in at 124.9 proof. This is from the press release. Let me read this to you. The 2023 Thomas H. Handy Expression is comprised of barrels aged for over 6 years. Initially launched in response to a consumer request for more well-aged and barrel-strength whiskey, this uncut, unfiltered, straight rye whiskey clocks in at 124.9 proof. Told you that already. They go on to tell you the flavor profile. I never like reading the distiller tasting notes. I don't want those tasting notes to get in my head, so I'm just going to ignore that. And then it won Judges at the Spirits Business 2023 American Whiskey Masters awarded it last season's Handy a Master Medal. There you go. So Handy won a Master Medal last year. It did fare okay with me. Handy's never really been my favorite of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, but I do love cast strength rye, and I think this year especially I've been drinking more rye in my off time, so meaning like not tasting time, than I typically do. And you know, Handy is a brand. When it first came out, I remember tasting it and being like, "Oh my God, this is so good." And I think over the years, I've fallen away from it. But last year, I liked it better than the Sazerac rye. In fact, you know, Handy has done okay in my top 100, and it's also, I don't think it's ever actually been entered in the Ascots to compete. So that's my spirits competition. So I don't think it's been entered to actually compete, although they enter all the Wellers. I don't think they've ever entered the Handy. The other thing is, at San Francisco World Spirits Competition, where I was a judge and technically I'm still a captain there, there is a number of years that the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection products did not even medal. I remember having Eagle Rare 17-year-old on my panel one year, and it did not medal at all. Like, it didn't win anything. I had Pappy 23 on my panel one year. It did not medal at all. So these bottles, these are the most coveted bottles in the entire season. Everybody hunts these. Everybody wants these. But that doesn't always mean they're going to be better than Rare Breed. In fact, one year I did a blind tasting where I put all the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection up against Rare Breed in a blind tasting, and Rare Breed cleaned all their clocks rather. So I think you gotta take these reviews with a grain of salt, and these medals and everything with a grain of salt. But if you do get a chance to buy one of these bottles at SRP, they're nice to have. They really are nice to have, and if you give it as a gift to somebody, boy, you will be like this person's best friend. Like, if you ever give a friend a bottle of BTAC, you just climb the level of being an awesome friend. So, at any rate, let me go ahead and taste this. I'm going to be dropping the other ones like the Stag here, Sazerac, the oldest Eagle Rare in the brand's history, and of course, what won last year for my spirits my top 100, William LaRue Weller. So almost dropped it. That'd have been bad if I dropped the Weller BTAC. I wonder what would happen if I broke a bottle of one of these, like if they would actually replace it. I doubt they would. I bet they screw you, go buy it, which I do. I will go buy it, and I have. It's freaking hard. I have to call in favors sometimes, but I will buy them. All right, here we go. So here we go to the Handy. I will say too, these the media samples are very different than years past. These are kind of like in a little cologne bottle, I feel like, and the labels are just kind of like puffy on there, like it feels like they're about to fall off. So I don't know. Yeah, these labels are not on there very good at all. Well, I guess they're stuck on there good enough. You don't care about media sample labels, and I don't blame you. If I was watching someone get media samples of Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, and they're over here complaining about the media sample not being as good as last year from the bottle perspective, I'd be saying, like, screw you. You know what? You just got bottles of BTAC. I know. I get it. I would hate me too. Okay, let's review this. Let's taste this. This is the Thomas H. Handy Sazerac 6-year, 124.9 proof. This is rye. I like swirling that whiskey up, pushing the aromas up, isolating my nostrils. Tonight's a big tasting night. I've got my Club Marzipan taste camp right after this, right after tasting this. So I have a lot of things to taste tonight. But I don't have a babysitter for very long. My wife is traveling right now. So I'm telling you all of this because I'm trying to give you an idea of my state of mind as I'm about to taste, because a person's state of mind can influence how good their palate is. And your nose is your first indicator of that. It's like my mind is all over the place right now, but once I started smelling the whiskey, I just kind of, zoned in. And it smells very cherry forward. Very cherry forward, little hints of vanilla, so like maybe like a cherry vanilla Coca-Cola. Well, that sounds awesome, actually. Whoa! Take my tongue, slap it around, and pour some spice all up on there. Holy shitballs. Damn. Woo! That is rocking. That is really friggin' rocking. Holy shitballs. That's got like so much cinnamon going on in it, and like black pepper. Hey, throw in like a kind of like an allspice in here. This thing is packed with spices. It's like a spice rack and it's basically like a grocery store spice aisle, met up with some jalapenos and some other types of peppers, and was like, hey, let's party. Let's get all up in this whiskey. Damn. So it is so concentrated on the back of my palate. It hits the roof of my mouth, kind of goes down slowly. I feel that hug all the way down. The presence of this rye whiskey is powerful. It is very, very powerful. And I got to tell you, it's so concentrated on the back of my palate. Like my spice senses are just blowing up right now. And I really would love to pair this with some Indian food, with some really hot Chinese food, maybe like a cumin lamb. This is really good. Oh, wow. And I think this would go really well with some like spicier type of vegetables, like maybe like a really hot onion, which it's hard to find something that'll pair with something like that. But man, this is, I'll tell you what, if you do not like spice, if you don't like, if you're kind of like, you're a sweet tooth, I'm struggling to find anything sweet in here. I mean, that cherry vanilla Coca-Cola note, it's definitely on the nose, and there's a slight hint of cherry in here. But my palate is just overwhelmed with spice. And it stays there the whole time. Yeah, this is fantastic. The Thomas H. Handy is absolutely delicious, especially for those who love the spice. This is delicious. Me likey lot. That's going to do it for this tasting. I got to go get ready for Taste Camp. If you want to learn more about that, head on over to Club Marzipan. You'll find a link in my description. And tonight we are doing a technique called tongue mapping. That is that sounds just like it is. Weird. But I live in the weird. So thanks for tuning in. Be safe out there. And remember, vodka sucks unless it's being used to clean up the murder scene of a dead cat. Cheers, y'all.